Hey everyone, Golden Ninja 3000 here again, and today I have my long-awaited Hall of Armor update video. Now, I hope you guys have been waiting for this. It seems like my first video is doing pretty well. So as you can see, I've added a complete third level, and now I've got every single Iron Man suit made by LEGO integrated into this Hall of Armor, including all of the new ones from 2020. This does exclude a couple, which I'll show at the end of the video. Alright, so here's what the Hall of Armor looks like all closed up. So what I did is I bought 2 copies of the new Iron Man Armory set, the $30 one as opposed to the $60 original set. And so I just added like 2 towers of 3 cabinets onto into the middle kind of to fit all of the new suits introduced in 2020, as well as to finish putting in the War Machine suits. So basically, since you've last seen my Hall of Armor, I bought 1 more copy of the $60 set and then 2 of the new $30 sets. And again, I really like this look now. I don't love how closed up it is. I actually tried adding 4 floors, but I couldn't make it fit. I would have really liked 4 floors. I would have loved the height. It also would have made it harder to display, which is like why I went with this version. Because if I went with 4 floors, I had to go with 5, and then it was just way too tall. Like, it looked ridiculous. So I'd much rather have it wrap around more and be shorter than not have it wrap around enough and be too tall. Now, if you've seen my other review, you know that like you can move these sections around however much you want. So I can like open it up. So again, I'm okay with it wrapping around like that because I can display it opened up like this. And so you've got that section in the middle with the table. You can see I put the extra Iron Man statuette from the Armory set over here. And then you have the middle section with Tony suiting up or like unsuiting up, obviously. And then if you turn this around, you can wrap it around the other way as well. Now, I think mine is a little bit too long, so now it becomes like it can't wrap perfectly because it's too big. This is an okay look. I personally don't like it because I don't like having all of the suits facing out like this. But, I mean, it's definitely a more compact display, and it might be easier for other people. So, it is a little bit hard to handle this around the tripod, so sorry about the poor angles there. But we'll start by taking a look at the upper row, and then we will move our way down, all the way down to all of the MCU armors at the bottom. Alright, so I've got this lined up as best I can. Starting from the left, this is the War Machine Mark II from the Iron Man 3 sets. This is the Iron Patriot, which is the same as the Mark II, just painted a different color. That's the Mark III from Civil War. Mark IV from Infinity War, that came in a Bricktober pack. This is the Mark VI in the Quantum Realm variant. That was from Endgame, of course. Then this is the version from the new Helicarrier. And actually what you'll see with the War Machine cabinets is that I had to modify them. So instead of using these this tall angular piece, I just had to use 2 1x1 bricks and a 1x2 angled piece because they needed modification to fit the guns and everything. So for this guy from Civil War, I mean, I just had to leave pieces out, which is really awkward, but it's the only way that his gun would fit in. Same with the one from Endgame. You can see there's just pieces missing in there. And surprisingly for this guy, I didn't have to do that much modification. All I had to do was the same that I did for these 2 from Iron Man 3, which is just change that design a little bit. I just needed a less severe slope. And he fits in with all of his attachments from the Helicarrier, which I think is really awesome. I'm really glad that he fits like that because I wanted to display him with all of those pieces. So that one's from the Helicarrier. Like I said, you can see he's the only War Machine armor to use that newer 2017 style of Iron Man helmet with no opening face mask. Then over here, we've got the Rescue from the 2020 sets. Love this figure. Again, this one also uses that newer style helmet. And then that's pretty much it for the non-Iron Man characters, except for one. Now we're moving into the Iron Man. This is the classic style suit from the Mighty Micro sets. Now this is the screen from the Iron Man Armory set. I put it here because I wanted to include it in this set, and I figured it would look best when it wasn't because this one's short, right? So it doesn't need to cover up a minifigure. This is the Invincible Iron Man suit from 2017 that introduced this helmet mold. This is the Square Enix Iron Man suit from the Avengers video game. This is in a ton of 2020 sets, way too many. You can get it in 7 sets. I think it's kind of ridiculous. And then this is the Iron Venom set from the Venom Crawler, and that's a Venomized version of the Square Enix suit. And you'll notice that the War Machine from the Helicarrier and the Square Enix suit both have the stickers behind them showing the suit detailing on the glass behind them, which I think is a really nice addition. All right, moving to the next level down, this is the Mark I from the original Hall of Armor. This is the prototype Iron Man suit, which is pretty much the Mark II from the Iron Man Armory set. Again, I hate these helmets. You can really see these helmets and on Blazer and Taser. Let's just get them in the shot. Blazer and Taser over here. They stick out like a sore thumb. They just look wrong next to all of the other suits with the normal helmets. And again, all three of these are like technically MCU based. I'm not sure about this one, but Blazer and Taser are definitely MCU based. So it's really irritating that they don't have those helmets. Again, I will be making an alternate helmet options video for those guys because I do want like you guys to see your options for making them look more like the MCU suits they're supposed to look like. Again, it just really bothers me because it's so out of place. You can see that the Mark II and then the Mark V, which is the suitcase armor that also came in the original Hall of Armor set, they've also got the stickers behind them, which is nice. Then this is the 6 from the Avengers sets. This is the 7 also from the Avengers sets. This is the Mark 17 Heartbreaker from an Iron Man 3 set. There's Blazer from the Tower with a sticker behind him, and Taser also from Avengers Tower, but he doesn't get a sticker, which I think is really lame. Then we have the Silver Centurion armor, which was the pre-order bonus for the LEGO Avengers video game. This is like the most detailed minifigure that Marvel's ever made, that like LEGO's ever made for the Marvel line. You know, like dual molded arms, printed legs, like dual molded armor piece with printed pieces on the front and back, and it was one of the only Iron Man suits to have a different Tony Stark face with a black eye. So again, this is like my favorite Marvel minifigure, and my second favorite Marvel minifigure is Rescue, who we'll get to in a second. But so Blazer and Taser are supposed to be Hot Rod and Blue Steel, which are like, that's Mark 22, that's Mark 30. I messed up some of the armor like numbers in my last video. Silver Centurion is 33. I think I said it was 32. But Blue Steel is like a precursor to Silver Centurion, so I do like how they have similar armor pieces, but again, and I mean, you can kind of see like the similar faceplate design, but again, it should have just used a normal helmet and not that smooth non-opening one. And then the last couple that we have here are the Hammerhead and Gemini armors, which are 37 and 39. Again, these aren't exactly based on the MCU because they came in regular like Avengers comic book sets in 2016, but you can tell that they're meant to be the MCU armors, especially with the Hammerhead. And onto the final level. Here's the Mark 41 Bones. I really love this one. You know, the black and the gold is a very unique look. This was the third armor that came in the original Hall of Armor set. That's the 42 from the Iron Man 3 sets. This is the 43 from Age of Ultron. This is the 45 from Age of Ultron. I also really like this one. I love the way that they like made the helmet, you know, getting that like those cheekbones in for a sharper look. This is the 46 from Civil War. This is the 47 from Spider-Man Homecoming. I like this one a lot because I like Silver and Iron Man suits, so I thought it was really cool how he just like repaired the damaged parts from Civil War with Silver. This is the 50 from Infinity War. That is the Quantum Realm suit from Endgame. Now, Iron Man never actually wore this outfit in the movie, but we did see concept art of it, and LEGO made a figure of it, so I put it in here. And then this is the 85 from Endgame, which was his final suit, and of course the one that he died in. And then over here, I've just got him, like, I had an extra Mark 50, so I've got the torso here, and then this is just actually a stressed and, like, broken helmet piece that I have. So I just figured, you know, it makes it look like he's working on something. And then this section is from the Iron Man Armory set. Again, just kind of expanding that workbench place. The figure in the middle is from the Avengers Tower Gift with Purchase set. I believe that's supposed to be the Mark 43 partially on him. And again, I just like having it here because it looks like he's taking it off. And then in the middle, we have the Mark 49 Rescue suit. Now, the reason I put it in the middle is because when I was playing around with different sections, it just ended up in the middle. So now it's kind of out of place because it goes 46, 49, 47, 50. But I didn't want to move it into a cabinet because putting it in a cabinet would be difficult with the back attachment. And I like having it in the middle because, again, it's Rescue, it's Pepper Potts. So technically she's a different character, but I didn't put her up with the other different characters because her suit is Mark 49. Like, that's canon. It's, like, literally written on the suit. So I wanted to include it in sequence. But I thought that this was a better solution since it's practically in sequence, but it still gets like, you know, pride of place and it's able to have the wings out and everything. So that's why I put it in the middle. And again, that's like my second favorite Marvel figure ever made. It's like insanely detailed. I love that it's purple. You know, it really stands out among the rest of these armors in this Hall of Armor set. All right, so here's one final look at my armors before we go into like the ones that don't fit into this haul. Now, I really love this. I think that this looks like a perfect display piece. Obviously, achieving a display like this is going to be very difficult. I mean, so I've bought 3 of the original Hall of Armor sets, plus 2 of the of the newer ones of, you know, the Iron Man Armory sets. So that's about $240 worth of sets. Now I have recouped some of that cost because I've sold off like the extra minifigures. You know, I don't need 3 Mark Vs. So I've sold off some extra minifigures. And I mean, I didn't end up using a lot of the pieces from those sets, so I have a bunch of extra pieces now. But forget about that cost. Amassing all of these suits is going to be very difficult. The Iron Patriot armor is like minimum like $30 or $40. Silver Centurion is minimum 40 or 50. This guy's like $40. This guy's like 30. These figures are pretty hard to find if you haven't been collecting them from the beginning. So I'm like really happy that I have been, you know, like I got all of these just naturally. Like the only figure that I bought later, like not at time of release, was the Heartbreaker armor. But I mean, that set was only like $20 sealed. So I bought that later. And then I also bought the Iron Patriot later, but I bought it when it was still $30. I think now it's a lot more expensive. So I'm really happy that I've been able to amass all of these armors, you know, like just naturally. Like I didn't have to hunt them down. I was just getting them in the sets that they came out in. And I'm really grateful for that, because for people that are only getting into collecting the Iron Man armors now, it's going to be extremely difficult to make a Hall of Armor like this. But I'm just really lucky that I've been able to do it. And so I hope that you guys like enjoy seeing all of these armors together, because I like this display is something I've been dreaming of since I was collecting Iron Man suits in like 2013. So to have it actually be a reality is like insane to me. And I'm just really happy that LEGO made a Hall of Armor set at last. All right, as for the guys that don't fit in the Hall of Armor, this is the Mark 38 Igor. This was a buildable suit in the original Hall of Armor set. Now, it's quite bulky. I don't really love this build. I don't think it looks great, and there's obviously no way to fit it in the hall because I would have to design like a special cabinet. The cabinet wouldn't be able to move with everything else. So he just stands next to them, and he looks kind of stupid because of the way he's built. But yeah, he just sits there. Then we have the Iron Legion drones from Age of Ultron. Now, these aren't like technically suits. They're androids. No one can fit in them. And so they stay in my Avengers Tower where they belong because, again, they're not actual suits. So that's why they're not included in the lineup. Next, we have the Mark 43 from the Hulkbuster Ultron Edition set. Now, this is an exclusive variant, but again, it's just the Mark 43 with like a little chest piece removed to fit into the Hulkbuster. So I don't want to give it a whole entire cabinet to itself since it's just another version of the Mark 43. And I mean, it fits perfectly with the Hulkbuster, so I display it with the Hulkbuster. Next, we've got the variant of the Mark 50 from the Thanos Ultimate Battle set. I think that's what it was called. Yeah, so it's got like the wings from Infinity War, which I feel like were really hyped up before the movie, but then we barely saw them in the movie. But yeah, so it's got this ginormous backpack attachment, all of these power burst pieces. This would never fit into a Hall of Armor cabinet. And again, it's just a variant of the Mark 50. So I'd rather have this in like my other displays and then just like a plain version of the Mark 50 in my Hall of Armor display. And then we also have the Square Enix armor with the same kind of like wings backpack attachment. I do kind of like this one better. Like, don't get me wrong, I love the Mark 50 with its huge wings. But the Square Enix armor, just like, it's a lot more sleek. It's a lot smaller like they are in the movie. And, you know, I think it's a good look. It also comes with a little stand, which I really appreciate. But again, it's just a variant of that armor, so that's why it's not included in the haul. And then as for other Iron Man related characters, we've got Detroit Steel from 2017 from that same set with the Invincible Iron Man figure. Now, this is Justin Hammer in a Detroit Steel like armor, so he's not actually Iron Man, which is why he's not included in this Hall of Armor set. Sorry, I wasn't focusing there for a second. And then we have Iron Skull, who is Red Skull in an Iron Man suit. So again, not Iron Man, that's why he's not included. The only non-Iron Man figure included in here, besides like War Machine and Rescue, is the Venomized Iron Man figure, because again, it is still Tony Stark under there, as you can see. And it is a Venomized version of the Square Enix suit, so I really wanted to display them next to each other. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this update. This is a pretty major update considering where I was at in my last video. So again, I really hope that this inspires you guys to make your own Hall of Armor. Again, if you want to like fit in the War Machine armors, it'll require a bit of modification. Obviously, you don't need to do it in the order I did it. I just wanted to keep all the MCU armors like kind of together on the lower levels and then have the rest up top. But yeah, that's it for today. So please comment, like, and subscribe. And I'll try to make a couple more like Iron Man related videos. Again, the first Hall of Armor video did very well. So I'm hoping that this is something you guys did want to see. But yeah, that's it. Bye for now.